It was supposed to be their forever home, a house built especially for a young girl with special needs. Instead, the family's got a toxic property and an ugly battle with a builder and fund manager. So they contacted us.
Well, we thought it was going to be amazing, but it's just turned out to be a total nightmare.
We're going in.
2 years of our life, I've already lived a nightmare.
I don't think I've ever seen a mess quite like this.
That's your house, and we're going to get it all fixed, aren't we?
Hello, Rick.
Paige Nikotra has had to battle her entire life.
And what are you doing out here, Missy?
A delayed hospital treatment following a seizure when she was a toddler left her with severe brain damage and not expected to live beyond the age of 3.
We brought her home from hospital and she was on massive amounts of medication, all these anticonvulsants, because she just used a seizure. She's fed through a tube. Then she lost the use of her legs, so she's in a wheelchair.
She's now 23 and still going strong with the eternal support of her mum, Linda Hartman.
And we'll put the wiggles on Paigey for you.
Almost 3 years ago, life for this family finally started looking a little brighter with a $5.5 million compensation payout from the hospital.
To be honest with you, no amount of money will ever fix Paige, but it was to make her life easier.
Part of that was building a brand new home, specially designed to cater for all Paige's needs.
It was going to be our forever home.
This is what the house looks like now. They moved in last July, and less than a year later, the whole family has had to move out. The house is riddled with mould and other defects.
I never thought I'd build a house and you'd have to do this, would you?
Not in your wildest dreams.
The mould specialists tasked with cleaning up the mess would only allow us to enter the home wearing full protective suits, goggles and face masks.
So this is now the only safe way we can even enter this house to look at the problems.
Inside, a loud roar of machines try to dry the home and clean the air of any mould spores. Walls have been ripped apart to get to the source of the problem.
What's this doing along here?
That's a heater, drying all that area where the moisture's come in.
Upstairs is even worse.
This is where it all started.
Above us is the air conditioning unit for the house. Linda's son spotted some paint bubbling around the vent. It was the first indicator of water leaking from the air conditioner, breeding mould along the timber beams.
So now your whole ceiling has been ripped out to try and fix this.
Exactly.
That's not the only leak. Another one in the garage ceiling had more water running inside. That area also now has mould growing, as well as corrosion on the steel beams. More leaks are now coming in on the ground floor of the property, with surface water leaking directly in over the slab. The water feature on the pool has leaks too, gushing into the neighbour's yard whenever it's turned on.
All I expect is what we've paid for, and we haven't got what we've paid for.
And they paid top dollar. The build cost alone was $770,000, ensuring it met all Paige's needs. Her room is meant to replicate a hospital ward, climate controlled to keep her comfortable, and hoists to make shower time easier. But the hoist system leaves no room for a blind, and that external door has a gap underneath, letting hot air, dust and vermin inside.
All the geckos, lizards, cockroaches, spiders have come in and sleep with her.
Even the front door fails the wheelchair-friendly test. It was meant to be recessed for a smooth entrance on wheels.
So they expect you to just push up over that every single time you come or go?
Yep.
But getting anything done about this mess has been complicated, as Linda finds herself stuck between the builder and the billion-dollar fund manager who controls Paige's money.
I've been like a lion because Paige hasn't got a voice, so I've got to be her voice.
The builder is PJ Burns, an award-winning company based on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, who could usually build 3 houses for the cost of Paige's home. Rick Burns is the boss. His father, Noel Burns, created the canal network, now synonymous with the area.
At PJ Burns, we understand this trust is something to be earned.
The company once filled the entire top level of Noel Burns' house at Kawana.
Hello, Rick.
Now it's based inside this tiny office where Rick Burns has just locked the door.
Rick, I'm from A Current Affair. Would you mind coming in and having a chat to us?
He eventually takes a phone call from me.
We're operating with the QBCC and we've got a court case going, so I actually can't talk to you about it. I'd love to tell you the whole story, but she's been saying for 3 months she's going to take my licence.
They don't care about us.
How do you feel about the state of that house?
I've got problems there, yes, and I'm going to fix them.
Linda's battle to get Paige's house fixed has been immense. The building regulator, the QBCC, wouldn't initially speak with her as she wasn't the property owner.
The homeowner's non-verbal, she's in a wheelchair, she's bowel and bladder incontinent, she's fed through a tube. I said, do you still want to talk to her? And that no one would speak to me.
That process had to be started by the trustee of Paige's money, Perpetual, a company with a stock market value of over $1 billion and a CEO focused on building trust.
It's something you earn every day.
Perpetual appointed a project manager to oversee the build who wasn't licensed to operate in Queensland, but claimed an exemption because he didn't carry out any construction work. It also charged Paige $22,000 in management fees for the build.
They've been negligent too, because if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't even be where we're at now.
Perpetual declined our requests for interview but said in a statement,
Perpetual is deeply disappointed regarding the situation that Ms Nikotra and her family are in, and we apologise for any distress that has been caused by any delays on our part. We have appointed a dedicated team to focus on ensuring that the remediation works are pursued and undertaken as a top priority.
Perpetual submitted a list of 59 defects to the QBCC for rectification. 26 of those were ordered to be fixed by the regulator.
What would you say to the people who put you in this mess?
You come and live a day in our life. Why won't you fix these problems for Paige?
Both PJ Burns and Perpetual say they're fully committed to getting the house fixed, but nobody has an exact timeline of when it might be ready to live in again.